You laughed today. Maybe it's something stupid, a meme, a friend's terrible joke. A video of a dog running into a glass door. You probably didn't think twice about it. But that sound that came out of your body, that short, rhythmic, involuntary burst of air, is one of the oldest things a human being can do. Older than language, older than fire-making, older, possibly, than the word for anything. And the first time it happened, it had nothing to do with being happy. You think it means something is funny. You think it's a response, stimulus, then laughter. Something happens, you laugh.
That's what you
Simple.
think.
Neuroscientist Robert Provine spent years doing something unusual. He didn't study laughter in labs. He went out into the real world, shopping malls, cafeterias, sidewalks, and recorded people laughing naturally. He logged over 1,000 instances. What he found quietly dismantled the assumption. Only 20% of laughter happened in response to something genuinely funny. Just 20. The other 80% was filler. Social punctuation. People laughing at the end of sentences that weren't jokes. People laughing to signal agreement, to soften a request, to say I'm safe, you're safe, we're still on the same side. You've done this. Today, probably. A laugh that wasn't about humor at all. A laugh that was really a message. Go back. Way back. Before Homo sapiens. Before Homo erectus. Back to a common ancestor you share with chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, and bonobos. Those primates laugh. During play, during tickling, during social grooming, they produce a panting, breathy sound. Rhythmic, recognizable, laughter. Their laugh happens on both the inhale and the exhale. In, out, a rolling pant. Your laugh, the ha-ha-ha, happens only on the exhale. A uniquely human modification. A sound shaped by the same vocal architecture that eventually produced language. That means laughter predates language by millions of years. Your ancestors were laughing together long before they could tell each other why. The social bond came first. The shared sound came first. The words came later, slotted into a framework of connection that laughter had already built. Now here's something that will make you feel slightly strange about your own body. Try to tickle yourself. Go ahead. You can't. Because your cerebellum predicts your own movements. When you reach for your own ribs, it cancels the surprise before it arrives. Tickling requires the unpredictable touch of another person. It requires social presence. Infants figure this out early. Infant laughter appears at 3 to 4 months old, before language, before they understand object permanence, before they have any real model of the world. But put a face above them, make a sound, make contact, and they laugh. The laugh is social before it is anything else. Your very first laugh as a person was not about humor, it was about connection. In 1964, a Stanford professor named Dr. William Fry became one of the first researchers to study laughter scientifically. He called the field gelotology, from the Greek gelos, meaning laughter. Endorphins flood the system. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, drops. The same reward pathways activated by food and sex light up. Genuine laughter, what researchers call Duchenne laughter, triggers a neural signature distinct from performed laughter. A real laugh engages the orbicularis oculi, the muscle around the eye. A fake laugh typically doesn't reach it. You've seen this on someone's face before. You knew they weren't really laughing. You couldn't explain how you knew, but you knew. Your brain has been reading this signal for millions of years.
Reading faces.
Here is the number that should stop you. You are 30 times more likely to laugh when you are with other people than when you are alone. 30 times, not twice as likely, not 10 times, 30. Solitary laughter is almost non-existent in nature, even now, even with every stimulus available to you. Laughter is not a private experience that happens to sometimes be shared. It is a social behavior that occasionally occurs in isolation. This is why, in hunter-gatherer groups, Laughter plays a specific structural role. After conflict, after tension spikes, after a confrontation, laughter is used to signal that the threat is over. It diffuses. It marks the moment when the group can breathe again. Synchronized breathing, synchronized heart rates. When people laugh together, their physiologies align. The group, for a moment, becomes one organism processing the same signal. Safety. Laughter means safety. What was funny the first time a human laughed? The answer, almost certainly, is nothing. Humor is cognitive. It requires a setup and expectation, a violation of that expectation. It requires theory of mind. The first laugh was a release. An exhale after something dangerous passed. A predator that didn't close the distance. A storm that moved the other direction. A rival that backed down. The tension held in the body, the cortisol, the braced muscles, the shallow breathing suddenly had nowhere to go. It came out as sound, rhythmic, involuntary, shared with whoever was nearby. The signal that said, "We made it." The thing did not happen.
We made it!
We are still here. The people around that first laughing human likely laughed too, not because they thought it was funny, because the sound was contagious. Synchronized laughter, synchronized bodies. Synchronized bodies meant a coordinated group. A coordinated group survived. Laughter was not about joy. Joy came later. Laughter was about survival, stitched into the group. Pressed into the exhale of an animal that had just come close to the edge and stepped back. Now think about the last time you laughed with someone. Really laughed, the kind that makes your eyes water, that takes your breath, that leaves you both depleted and connected. You probably laughed harder the more the other person laughed. You probably felt afterward something you don't have a precise word for. A loosening, a belonging, a sense that this specific moment was safe. That was not an accident. That was the oldest machinery in you, running exactly as designed. Is that a laugh at all? Or is it just the sound of something ancient, looking for someone to share it with?